एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः। ॐ सहना भवतु।
ॐ सहना भवतु।
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सहनौ भुनक्तु।
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
सह वीर्यं करवावहै।
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु।
मा विद्विषावहै
मा विद्विषावहै।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
We will chant from the 13th verse. Astityevo. Astityevoपलब्धव्यः
अस्तीत्येवोपलब्धव्यः
तत्त्वभावेन चोभयोः
तत्त्वभावेन चोभयोः।
अस्तीत्येवोपलब्धस्य
अस्तीत्येवोपलब्धस्य
तत्त्वभावः प्रसीदति।
तत्त्वभावः प्रसीदति।
This expression is very important. He says that of the two, asti and nasti, there is something transcending the body and there is nothing transcending the body. It has to be known as something transcending the body, something exists, it is there. But when we accept it as it is, we have to understand that it is not in the way we find the other objects. It is not existing in that manner. Everything we find as different from us, I am seeing, I am knowing the object. Tattva bhavena means this is the tattva. Whatever we are studying from the Upanishad, it is repeatedly telling us that it is not to be experienced by the indriyas, by the mind, by the words. That means it is not in the objectude, either gross or subtle, within the mind also. Concepts, ideas, or emotions, all these we are seeing, they are also object before our consciousness. It is revealed by the consciousness. So this is the tattva bhava, that we have to know that it is, but in this manner, not in the with the duality that I will know it as different from me. Now when one know like that, astityevopalabdhavyaha, it has to be known, it has to be experienced as asti. Now one who does it, for him what happens? Astityevopalabdhasya, the one who experiences it as is, tattva bhavaha prasidati. This tattva bhava, what it is in essence, that becomes, that unfolds. Prasidati means that bhavaha, prasidati means that bhava, what it is really, that unfolds. That is immediately now when you are listening, you may understand something, then you may experience something, but that is not the end of it. Till the aparokshanubuddhi, the advaya bhava, non-dual experience takes place, and you know without any doubt, doubtlessly, that this is what is the meaning of existence. All other things are, nothing is actually existing, only this is existing, but not in the form of object before us or anything different from us. See, in the Panchadashi, when we get the first bliss of the soul, we go and we forget everything and we get flooded with Ananda. Then also we are called Ananda Bhuk. This is the term used there. Ananda Bhuk means, jo Anand ko bhog karte hain, one who enjoys the bliss. That is why you repeatedly want to go into the meditation and again have the bliss, but it doesn't happen. So finally you leave meditation because you are still looking for joy from somewhere. Earlier you were looking for joy from the external objects, objective situations. Now that you have known that that is not going to fulfill me, you look for joy within. And once you get it, you discover that it is much more than the other joys. It is bliss. It is fulfilling us. But when you come back, again you start missing that joy. So viraha continues. Viraha, you understand? The separation from Lord or from the Ananda continues. So they call it the Ananda Bhuk situation. One who enjoys the Ananda. Bhog फिर भी चल रहा है. Bhog चल रहा है मतलब it is Dvaita. That I am enjoying the bliss. Bliss is different from me. So there also this bhoktritva, I said that the bhoga pravritti of us with which we are born, that becomes the obstruction to the final realization. So when that bhoga pravritti goes, then only you will not look for the bliss also. The ultimate, when you get fused into the tattva, when fused into the non-dual position, it is not an ananda of the usual kind. It is not like that. So this should be understood. This is extremely important shloka. I have given it also in the first handout. See, in Sarva Vedanta Sara Sangraha, Sarva Vedanta Sara 996 verse, there is a very special verse. Tad vidya vishayam brahma satya jnana sukhatmakam. Tat vidya vishayam. When we are saying vidya vishayam, that means which is known through vidya, the duality is there. It is a vishaya for vidya. Vidya means knowledge. Vidya vishayam brahma satya jnana sukhatmakam. It is same as Satchidananda we say, that ultimate truth. Satya means sat, jnana means chit, sukha means ananda. Satchidananda is same, it is using different words, that's all. Tad vidya vishayam brahma satya jnana sukhatmakam shantam cha tadatitam cha param brahma uchyate. Param brahma taduchyate. Shantam cha tadatitam cha param brahma taduchyate. Now, that vidya vishayam brahma which is satyajnana sukhatmakam, that also has to be transcended. That is the ultimate. That is called the param brahma. That cannot be known by anything within the ken of duality. It is non-dual position. It is not within the ken of vidya vritti. Yesterday also said that the vidya will destroy the avidya finally. This avidya will not go as long as duality is there. When the non-dual position only, we will find that we are not limited. There is no duality at all anywhere. It is amness only is existing, is there. So it is not this shantam cha tadatitam cha. It is not within the ken of the vidya vritti. So this is from Sarva Vedanta Sarasa 996. So because the ultimate truth, the Purushaha, as he has said, is alinga. It does not have any insignia. It doesn't have any upadhi, we say. Upadhi means any mark or parameter by which it can be identified. So it is not the vishaya of the buddhi, but at the same time it has to be known through the buddhi. This is the meaning of tattva bhavaha prasidati. Say, this is important in another sense also. When we start getting the knowledge, we understand, oh well, this is Atma, this is what I am, etc. But still Atma remains a concept before us. But as we proceed with the knowledge more and more deeply and we apply it to introspection, that where lies the difference? The Upanishads are saying that Atma is unaffected, untainted, but I always feel affected, I feel anxious, I feel sorry. I feel shoka is there, grief is there. Then where lies the difference? How to go about it? So as you cleanse yourself, as you get rid of all these objective identities removed from the concept of the Atma, slowly you are becoming the Atma. Is it not so? Is it not that you are becoming closer and closer, more and more what the real Atma is? You are slowly you should, if you do the sadhana properly, you will find that earlier you used to get affected by so many things. Now you are not getting affected. If anybody abuses, earlier you used to get, you would return the abuse also. Now you feel that, well, I have nothing to do with it. If somebody says like that, if it is true, I should thank him. If it is not true, it is his business. Why should I worry? So like that, vichara, what is it doing? It is making us expanded, making us taint free, making us non-constricted. So all the constrictions, the knots of the ego, they are slowly untying. So as the untying goes on, it is the Atma Bhava Prasidati. I am becoming more and more Atma. That is the meaning of Atma Bhava Prasidati. Samely Tattva Bhava, same in the same manner, Tattva Bhava Prasidati. Suppose those who have taken initiation, initially the Guru has given a mantra. It is your faith in the Guru, that you have complete faith in the Guru, that you are accepting whatever the Guru has given and you are following his words, you are practicing. But at that point you don't know the power of the mantra or the power of what Guru has given. Mantra may be the vehicle. He has given a power using the vehicle of the mantra. The power of the Diksha is not known to you. But you have to have complete faith in that this will take me to the ultimate goal. If you have faith in Guru, naturally you will have faith in whatever the Guru has given, that it will take me to the ultimate goal. With that you are practicing it. As you practice, slowly the Diksha unfolds in you. The mantra and its power, it unfolds in you. It becomes more and more blazing forth. Finally you understand the power of the mantra. Then it becomes your own. It becomes your own. When the mantra becomes alive in you fully, with its all power, then actually you can also transform others. That mantra will have the power. You can give the mantra to others. That is how a next generation becomes a Guru. The one person is transferring the power to other. It takes time to get unified with the power and becoming like the flame. When he becomes the flame, he can light other lamps also. It is so simple. So this Tattva Bhavaha Prasidati means one who has known like this, that knowing in fullness, it takes a certain time to cultivate the purity. What they have said, Hrida Manisha Manasa Abhikliptaha Ya Etad Vidhu Amritaste Bhavanti. This, the purification, the transformation of the emotional part of our being, intelligential part of our being, and the mental part of our being, our thoughts, they take the sadhana. That sadhana will do that job and it will become fully realized. Then he comes to the fact that we have done already. We will just chant. Yada sarve pramuchyante
यदा सर्वे प्रमुच्यन्ते
कामायेस्य हृदि श्रिताः
कामायेस्य हृदि श्रिताः
अथ मर्त्यो अमृतो भवति
अथ मर्त्यो अमृतो भवति
अत्र ब्रह्म समश्नुते
अत्र ब्रह्म समश्नुते
यदा सर्वे प्रभिद्यन्ते
यदा सर्वे प्रभिद्यन्ते
हृदयस्येह ग्रन्थयः
हृदयस्येह ग्रन्थयः
अथ मर्त्यो अमृतो भवति
अथ मर्त्यो अमृतो भवति
एतावदनुशासनम्.
एतावदनुशासनम्.
So this I have explained already, that when all the desires seated in our heart, deep within our heart, they are all removed, the mortal man becomes immortal here itself. He attains the Brahman, samyak ashnute. In other place it will say that in Upanishad, he becomes Brahman. Brahmaiva bhavati. I will read that also. Yada sarve prabhidyante hridayasyeha granthaya. The hridaya granthi is the avidya granthi, that the knowledge, that the idea that I am small, about our own identity, it is associated with the small, limited personality. So when that knot gets untied, then the mortal man becomes immortal here itself. Etavad anushasanam. This is what we have learned by following the sadhana given by our Guru. That is also, I knew that, but in this, that is also true. Eda badhyanushasanam. Badhyanushasanam. I think your book it is that. That is still better because etabat hi anushasanam. There is an emphasis. Etabat hi anushasanam. This is all indeed what we have to tell or we have to communicate. The communication is over. I said the Kathopanishad is over there, but there is a little appendix, a few shlokas have been there. Now, exactly parallel to this is the Upanishad. That what happens when the shloka is 2.2.8 in Upanishad. 2.2.8. Vidyate hridaya, acha, you can chant. Vidyate hridaya granthihi.
भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः
Chidyante sarva samshayaha.
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः
भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि
तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे.
तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे.
He says that tasmin drishte paravare. Tasmin drishte paravare. This is generally called sati saptami. Sati saptami means when conditional. Here we are applying saptami. Tasmin drishte sati. That means when it is seen, the truth is seen, truth is realized. Where paravare, again, in the para as well as avara, that means in the great as well as the small, in the gross as well as the subtle, that is everywhere. There is nothing other than the truth at all. This is the realization that when it is known in the great, that is, it should not be only in the meditation and not in the world. It cannot be. It has to be in the meditational experience as well as non-meditational experience. So, tasmin drishte paravare. What happens to the person who has realized this truth in everything? That means everything is appearing in it. It is not that going to everything you find that Brahman is there, going to another place you find Brahman is there. It is not like that. It is not in the objectitude. It is a subject, our Atma, in which the whole universe is appearing to be. So, there cannot be anything other than the consciousness, our Atma. That is the idea. Now, when it happens, what happens to the personality? What happens to the man? Because the whole purpose of the sadhana is to transform our own personality, which consists of our emotion, our mind, our intelligence, faculties. So, he says three are the outcomes. What is that? Vidyate hridaya granthihi. That means the knots of the avidya are broken. That means knots of ego are gone. What is the ego? Ego is always giving us the identity of a small, segregated, separated existence. Is it not so? I am different from all others. I am this, I am that. He is not like that. So it is giving us, the ego is making us small, limited, separated, fragmented identity. That is the hridaya granthi. He says, vidyate hridaya granthi. He becomes universal. His identity becomes universal. Chidyante sarva samshayaha. Sarva samshayaha. That means chidyante means all the doubts are removed. It is a doubtless state. No doubts should remain in the intelligence. That means it is a fulfillment for the intelligence. Doubts might be there that how many years this bulb will last or not. That we will not know. We will ask the person who has made it, and it may not be according to that. We will not know the camera. We will not know the building. The doubt about the truth, who am I and what is this? Have I realized? Have I not realized? All these things. The intelligence, when it is freed of all these doubts, then it is a freedom for the intelligence also. It is an intelligential freedom. What is the freedom for our emotional being? When we become universal, we no longer have limited small feeling. That is the constriction of the heart goes. That is the emotional freedom. Because you start loving the whole world, embracing the whole world. So that is the emotional freedom. Then the intelligential freedom is doubtlessness, that you don't have any more doubt, anything to be done. Then these two will lead to kshiyante chasya karmani. He will not have any karma, means that he will not be bound by the causality. He will not have anything to do. I have done this, I have done something great, or I have done something sinful, or I have to do this, I have to do that. Nothing of that. Whatever comes, he goes on doing. He doesn't think that I am doing this or I am doing that. That means what? The removal of the kartri bhoktri bhava. That from the mind, the kartritva, that I am doing something, I am this, I am that. And the bhoktri, that I have to enjoy something from there. This is giving me suffering, this is giving me joy, so I will only run after joy. Nothing. No bhoktri bhava. Even in meditation also he will not look for bliss. He will not meditate perhaps, but even if he meditates, he will not look for anything there. So these are the three outcomes of tasmin drishte paravare. When tasmin drishte paravare means when we are realizing the truth, the Brahman, the Atma in everything, all perceptions. The same as Kathopanishad says, pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. When we know it in every perception, pratibodha, it is called also pratibodha. This word is used for Atma and Brahman, pratibodha. That means there cannot be any perception without this. So when it is known in every perception, amritatvam hi vindate, he becomes immortal. So here also it is like that. When all this they see in every perception, then his emotional knot is dissolved, he becomes universal. His intelligential doubts are dissolved, he becomes intelligentially fulfilled, emotionally fulfilled, and mentally also fulfilled, because he doesn't have anything to do, anything to enjoy. Kartri bhoktri bhava gets completely dissolved. So all the Upanishads towards the end, I said that it will be of this kind. 2.2.5 Yasmin Dyoh Prithvi Jantariksham
Yasmin Dyoh Prithvi Chantariksham
Otam Manas Saha Pranaishcha Sarvaihi
Otam Manah Sah Pranaishcha Sarvaihi
Tamevaikam Janatha Atmanam
Tamevaikam Janatha Atmanam
Anya Vacho Vimunchatha
Anya Vacho Vimunchatha
Amritasyaisha Setuhu.
Amritasyaisha Setuhu.
See, it is said just after what the two shlokas we did, Dhanur Grihitva Upanishadam Mahastram, then Pranavo Dhanu Sharohi Atma. These two I have already explained. Just after that it is coming. He is saying that Yasmin Gyauhu. Gyauhu means the dik, that means all the directions. Prithvi, the earth. Cha Antariksham. Antariksham is between the heaven and earth, the space between that. That is everywhere around in the universe. Manah Saha Pranaishcha Sarvaihi. Otam. Otam means which is amalgamated, which is woven, mixed with that. So it is mixed with the entire external universe as well as Manas Saha Pranaishcha Sarvaihi. All the 5 pranas and the mind. What is that? Tam eva ekam. Tam eva ekam. Know that alone. Tam eva is there. Ekam. Know that one alone. Janatha Atmanam. Know that alone is the one Atma. I was emphasizing that again and again while reading the last chapter. Now in Kathopanishad also it is emphasized here. Tam eva ekam janatha Atmanam. Then what is he saying? Anya vacho vimunchatha. Leave all other words. Why discuss about ये होता है वो होता है, आत्मा जब मर जाता है आत्मा क्यों यहाँ नहीं जाता है? वो जानते हैं कि वहाँ पे उनका पहला जन्म हुआ था, उसके पहले उनका जन्म दूसरा विलेज में हुआ था, वहाँ जाके वो 4 साल के उम्र में मर गए थे, उसके पहले ये हुआ था वो हुआ। Anya vacho vimunchatha. Upanishad is saying very forcefully. Why are we troubling with our mind with all these things? Because they will take us away from the Amrita. Anya vacho vimunchatha. Amritasya esha setuhu. This is the bridge towards Amrita. When you consider that tam eva ekam atmanam janatha, you try to know that one Atma and that alone. Tam eva ekam, not many other things. Tam eva is there. Know that alone. Try to know that Atma, that one Atma alone. Anya vacha vimunchatha. Leave all other words. Don't unnecessarily waste your life in discussing various things. Amritasya esha setuhu. This is the bridge towards immortality. So, next verse. 16th of Kathopanishad. 16th of the last. Shatanchaika cha hridayasya nadyah.
शतं चैका च हृदयस्य नाड्यः
तासां मूर्धानमभिनिश्रितैका
तासां मूर्धानमभिनिसृतैका
शतञ्चैका च हृदयस्य नाड्यः
शतं चैका च हृदयस्य नाड्यः
तासां मूर्धानमभिनिश्रितैका
तासां मूर्धानमभिनिसृतैका
शतञ्चैका च हृदयस्य नाड्यः
शतं चैका च हृदयस्य नाड्यः
तासां मूर्धानमभिनिसृतैका
तासां मूर्धानमभिनिसृतैका
तयोर्ध्वमायन्
तयोर्ध्वमायन्
अमृतत्वमेति
अमृतत्वमेति
तयोर्ध्वमायन्नमृतत्वमेति
तयोर्ध्वमायन्नमृतत्वमेति
विश्वङन्या उत्क्रमणे भवन्ति
विश्वङन्या उत्क्रमणे भवन्ति.
See, that is why I said that little from the Yoga Shastra is given. Here, Mundakopanishad 2.2.6 is also parallel to it. Araiva rathana bhau samhata yasya nadya something. See, nadi, what is this nadi? Nadya means the nadis. Now, what is exactly the nadis? I don't know medically whether anything can be identified like that, because we know medically the nerves and the veins and the muscles, these we know, bones, etc. Whether nadi is referring to the nerves, even if it may not be completely, but closest to that will be the nerves. Now nadi, they are saying the central nadi, that ida, pingala and sushumna, that the central spinal cord, that is the sushumna, and the two sides ida and pingala, that positive energy, negative energy, all those are there. Moreover, the nadis are actually bringing all the senses, sense perception signals finally to us, to our central hub, which is our physiological ego of our personality. That is why we are able to identify, integrate all the sense impressions, experiences. He says, shatam cha eka hridayasya nadyah. Hridaya is our central part of our personality. We say hrit guha. It is actually buddhi guha also. The same. Hrit guha means the cavern of our heart. That is emotional center of our I-ness. We say it is not the heart, the physiological heart. It is where we feel our I. Emotionally we say that, humne kya hai? I have done it. We don't say I have done it. Do we say? The buddhi is here. But when you find out I am the seer of everything, you don't focus here, you focus in the buddhi. So both are identified with our I-ness. So hrit is the center where that I-ness is there. So from the hrit, all the nerves are connected. How many? 101. Now it may not be 101. Here the emphasis on the one, and all our 100 are useless. Just like in 13th chapter you will find, after enumerating the 20 qualities, he says that etad jnanam iti proktaha ajnanam yadatonyatha. This is called jnana. These 20 qualities, if they adorn you, then it is the knowledge. This is meant by the knowledge, the qualities. And ajnanam yadato anyatha. Anything else is ajnana. Like that here the shata is taking us in different way. The eka is the emphasis. So he says that of the 101 nadis, tasam murdhanam avinishrita eka. One is going towards the murdhana. That means one perception, one experience will take you to the Brahmatalu. We call it the murdhana there, towards Sahasrara. Towards that, it has spread towards Abhinishrita. It has gone out from towards the Murdhana. Tayordhvamayant amritatvameti. If we go out through that, then we become immortal. Now, people generally say go out means when the prana, when a person dies, it should come out of this. But then who will feel the amritatva? We don't know. Again, it goes to the something which cannot be experienced or cannot be explained. It is non-experiential. But those who do it, those who do the yoga sadhana, I told you the other day also that the prana, that our focus of experience, when it goes here, you get quite a lot of experiences from there. And if it goes out from here, you immediately feel the bodilessness. That amritatva means whatever is mortality associated with the body, the limitation associated, you feel infinite. You feel you are in the space completely. But it is also an experience. It is not the non-dual, the advaya anubhuti or anything. That is in the knowledge level. Here it is a physical experience. So that seat of experience must be our brain. The brain which is generating the body experience for us always. Always we are having the body. That same brain can generate the bodiless experience also. Suppose somebody is able to do it with a medicine, that your focus will be there and you will generate the bodiless experience. It is fine, it can be generated because it will operate on the brain, the medicine will operate on the brain to give you that kind of an experience. It can happen. One has to do a lot of experiment for that. If it happens also, after the experience is gone, you will be in the same soup. Nothing. Punarmushiko bhava. Punarmushiko bhava जानते हैं ना? फिर वो चूहा बन गया. वो बहुत चूहा आया था और वो महात्मा उनको बहुत प्यार दिया, बहुत किया दिया, खिलाया भी, वो बढ़ के आशीर्वाद भी मिला. एक दिन वो पूछा कि आप हमें ब्लेसिंग दीजिए कि हम शेर बन जाएं. तो वो शेर बन गया महात्मा के आशीर्वाद से. वो शेर बन के महात्मा को खाने के लिए आया. ऐसा होता है, इसलिए स्टोरी बनाया गया है कि उनके ही कृपा से वो शेर बने, लेकिन शेर बनकर वो महात्मा को खाने के लिए आया. तब महात्मा बोले कि पुनर्मूषिको भव, यू बिकम द चूहा अगेन, यू बिकम द रैट अगेन. So here also I said punarmushika bhava means you became infinite and all, but when again the sensation came down, you get trapped by the body again. But this experience will certainly help you. If you once get the bodiless experience, it will inspire you in your sadhana. It will inspire you to get focused within. And it will show that all these experiences are also possible. That we are not encapsulated by the so-called sensations, the sense perceptions alone, what we have, the worldly perceptions. So it helps a lot, but it is not the final at all. So he says that when we exit through that, may not be it is bodily exit, it is our focus, our concentration, when it exists, our consciousness here, then we become Amrita. That means we get disassociated from bodily identity and the corresponding constrictions. Vishanganya utkramane bhavanti. If you, here it is speaking about the death actually, this shloka, that if you are released from that murdna, then you become immortal. And otherwise, these nadis are going the 100 times, all different places, different indriyas, so you are getting bogged down to that. All the worldly experiences are covered by this other 100. It could be 1000, it could be 500 also. All other, except this, all others are binding us to the worldly perceptions. They are bringing in the world in various manner, variety and all. So, utkramane bhavanti means they go to their corresponding, according to the desires, as they say, that yatha karma yatha shrutam. The same thing, that they take different embodiment according to their desires and all to fulfill whatever they want. This vishang, that vish dhatu, it means various. Earlier in Kathopanishad it is there, vishuchi, means absolutely separated. And if you use the middle sha there, vish, then it becomes pervading. Vishate tadarantaram. Vishate means pervading everywhere. So here it means different. They go to the various different other worldly sensations, that there could be infinite sensations. They take us to that. Next verse. Angushtha matra purushoantaratma.
Angushtamatrah purushoantaratma.
Sada jananam hridaye sannivishtaha.
Sada jananam hridaye sannivishtaha.
Angushtha matra purushoantaratma.
Angushtamatrah purushoantaratma.
Sada jananam hridaye sannivishtaha.
Sada jananam hridaye sannivishtaha.
Tam svat sharirat pravrihet.
Tam svat sharirat pravrihet.
Munjadiva ishikam dhairyena.
Munjadiva ishi dhairyena.
You have ishikam na? What is there? Ishikam na? Huh? No, that iva ishikam becomes veshikam. Tam svat sharirat pravrihet.
Tam svat sharirat pravrihet.
Munjadiveshikam dhairyena.
Munjadiveshikam dhairyena.
Once more. Tam svat sharirat pravrihet.
Tam svat sharirat pravrihet.
Munjadiveshikam dhairyena.
Munjadiveshikam dhairyena.
Tam vidyat.
Tam vidyat.
Shukramamritam.
Shukramamritam.
Tam vidyat shukramamritamiti.
Tam vidyat shukramamritamiti.
Tam vidyat shukramamritam.
Tam vidyat shukramamritam.
Tam vidyat shukramamritamiti. Amritamiti.
Tam vidyat shukramamritamiti.
He says, angushtha matraha purushaha antaratma sada jananam hridaye sannivishtaha. This angushtha matra we have come quite a few times. In one place it is vamanam. All these I have explained. Now why they are coming suddenly? They said that previously, that in the previous shloka they said that if you exit through the murdana, that eka nadi, then you become amrita. Now again they are bringing back to, for amritatva you don't have to exit through that. It is here and now. So what we have to do? That same ultimate reality, the real identity is there right within your hridaya. What is the hridaya? Where from the I-ness is coming. So you look into that. Angushtha matram purusha. There it is small. You don't have to go to the outer space and become like that. You have to just focus on that where from the I-ness is coming. Antaratma, that is our inmost self. And you cannot miss it because sada jananam hridaye sannivishtaha. It is always there. You don't have to wait for Vishnu Bhagavan to come one day on a Purnima day or so. It is right there always, even when you are sleeping it is there. So anytime, anywhere, you can go within that I-ness because that is available to you always. Without that I, nothing is there. Sada jananam hridaye sannivishtaha. Only what do you have to do to approach that, to get dissolved in that? What do you have to do is the next two lines. Tam svat sharirat pravrihet. Briha means, brih dhatu means pluck, extract. pluck, extract. He has given the example of munjadiva ishikam dhairyena. Munja trina is there. Munja is a kind of a grass, munja grass, where if you take, there is a kernel, there is a pith, you can take it out from there. There are many things like that. You can take out the pith. You have not seen anything. With many grass that if you take out the leaves from there, that whitish pith will come out. So he said that if you do it carelessly, then the pith will break. You will not be able to isolate the pith from the grass. The isolating the pith from the grass needs lot of patience, care, attention. This is the point. There it needs hardly any attention, but in this case it needs. So they are only pointing out it has to be done dhairyena, with lot of patience, lot of dhirata, wisdom, and lot of attention, shraddha, care. We have to take it out. What is that pith here? That is the Atma. It is hiding in the munja trina, in the sharira. So you have to that purushaha antaratma, angushtha matram purusho antaratma. That has to be taken out, plucked from swat sharirat, from your own body. That bodily outer shells have to be removed from that. Not only body, related to the body, whatever things are making us small, making us object oriented, they have to be removed. Dhairyena. As removing, taking out the pith from the munjatrina. Example they have given. And when you have isolated that Atma from the sheath of the body, tam vidyat shukram amritam. No, that itself is the Shuddha, the pure immortality. Twice they have said, tam vidyat shukram amritam iti. Actually, again they have emphasized the processes. One is the Yoga Shastra process of passing through the Sahasrara, that is focusing from the, the Muladhara to Sahasrara and getting exited from the Sahasrara to have the freedom from the body, bodiless experience. The other is focusing on your heart and finding out what is this Atma, which is never tainted by anything of the body, mind, intelligence. All those aspects have to be removed like sheaths. They have to be taken out to discover the Atma there. This is the idea. It ends with the Phalashruti. This is the last 18th verse is the Phalashruti. Mrityu proktam Nachiketo thalabdva Vidyametam yoga vidhim cha kritsnam. Mrityu proktam Nachiketo thalabdva Vidyametam yoga vidhim cha kritsnam. Brahma prapto virajo abhudvimrityuh. Anyopyevam yo vidadhyatmameva. Vidadhyatma is that? Huh? No?
Vidadhyat.
Dhya hai na? Mrityu proktam Nachiketo thalabdva Vidyametam yoga vidhim cha kritsnam. Brahma prapto virajo abhudvimrityuh. Anyopyevam yo vidadhyatmameva. Atha means anantar. That means after whatever has happened is concluding. Nachiketa mrityu proktam etam vidyam kritsnam yoga vidhim cha labdva. This Mrityu Proktam means, Mrityu they are referring to Yamaraja. He is the Lord of Mrityu, Lord of death. So whatever the Lord of death told Nachiketa, that Vidyam Etam Vidyam, all the Tattvajnana, as well as Yoga Vidhim, how to perform the Yoganushtana. It is in both sense. Yoganushtana means it can be Hatha Yoga, it can be the Agni Vidya, or it can be the yoga in its real sense of how to dissolve the egoistic Atma in the real identity, universal identity. That is also Yoga Vidhi. Because in other places they have already said that Anushtaya na shochati. Anushtaya na shochati. What is the Anushtana? That Anushtana was to look into our own identity. So Nachiketa, following whatever Yamaraja said in the form of knowledge and the practice, yoga with him here means the practice, the knowledge, vidya means the knowledge and the practice, following everything and learning everything, chalabdhva virajaha vimrityuhu brahma praptaha abhut. Abhut means he became. So it's a statement of fact that Nachiketa became. What all happened to Nachiketa? Virajaha vimrityuhu brahma praptaha abhut. These three happened to him. What is that? Brahma praptaha means he attained the Brahman. In other place he has mentioned that Brahmavid Brahmaiva bhavati. One who knows the Brahman, he becomes the Brahman. He gets dissolved into the Brahman. Other two are Virajaha and Vimrityuhu. Virajaha means Rajoguna Mukta. That means whatever whatever segregates us from everything, whatever puts us, binds us by karma. Karma means causality. I will do this, I will do that, I will enjoy this, by that I will become happy. All these are the Rajoguna. Virajaha. See, when a person takes to sannyasa, there is a homam, the last homam he performs is called Viraja homam. The homa performed is called Viraja. Why? In that Viraja homam, he has to put his shikha and upavita and all that. Our tradition is that till you have your upanayana, you are not fit for performing the yajna. The upanayana gives you the fitness or the permission to enter into the Vedic life with the proper rituals and all. Olden days there used to be upanayana for ladies also. For everybody it was there. They also were participating in the yajna homa and everything. So the upavita and the shikha, they were for the permission to do the ritualistic, perform the ritualistic part of the Vedas, which are all desireful. So when a person is taking to sannyasa, he is not supposed to do anything guided by desire at all. So he loses his deservingness for performing yajna. No sannyasin will perform yajna traditionally. Normally, nobody will do. They will work as the sutradhara, that is sitting there, he will guide a brahmacharin who will perform the puja and all. A sannyasin is truly speaking he is not allowed to do any puja at all. Should not do. A proper sannyasa means he is out of all puja, everything. He will only be given to the knowledge, nothing else. Brahmanishtha alone. Traditional sannyasa is like that. So Viraja Homam is you are burning your shikha and upavitam, means you are giving off, you are renouncing your right to perform any upasana, any puja, worship, yaga, yajna, everything. You will be moving around as a parivrajaka. So that is called Viraja Homam. Why? That Nachiketa became Viraja means one who identifies himself with the real identity. Then all the actions are performed by Prakriti. It is all Prakritis work going on. He has no doer-ship, no enjoyership at all. That is how he is becoming Viraja. He may do anything he likes. But for him there is no karma. He has freed of. That is why in the last sloka we read that Vidyate Hridaya Granthi Chidyante Sarva Samshayaha Kshiyante Chasya Karmani. He does not have any karma at all. The Kartritva, Bhoktritva has gone. So here Viraja means not Viraja Homam. From Nachiketa's mind, Kartritva and Bhoktritva got dissolved. It is an inner development, not outer development. Nachiketa became freed of the Kartritva and Bhoktritva, the doer-ship and enjoyer-ship. He became free of doer-ship and enjoyer-ship. And then what he is saying? He says, Anyopi evam yo vidadhyatma atmameva brahmapraptaha abhut anyopi yaha evam adhyatmam evam vid. They also become. Anyopi eva means others also will become virajaha vimrityuhu brahmapraptaha. Others also will become. Those who have done what they have done, evam adhyatmam evam vid. Those who have done evam vid janati, you can add the verb. Anyopi yaha evam adhyatmam evam vid janati. One who knows this adhyatmam. Adhyatmam word has been used here. Why? In the 9th chapter, Arjuna is asking adhyatmam. What is this adhyatmam? Krishna says, Swabhavo adhyatmam uchyate. Your swabhava, your real identity is called adhyatma. English we call spirituality. Actually, spirituality is adhyatma vidya in our language. Adhyatma vidya means the knowledge about our own identity. Swabhavaha, swabhavaha adhyatma uchyate. So, on one hand, he is declaring that Nachiketa became free of the differential identity, egoistic identity, became free of birth and death, became Brahmaprapta, attained the Brahman. And at the same time, they are declaring that anybody else, it is not only it happened to Nachiketa, anybody else who knows this truth in this manner, for him also the same will be the outcome. If he knows in this manner, in the manner Nachiketa knew, same will be the outcome. There is no escape that, oh Nachiketa to स्वर्ग यमराजा के पास गए थे, अभी तो कोई यमराजा है ही नहीं, हम कैसे जाएंगे, किसी गुरु के पास जाने से तो नहीं होगा, यमराजा तो हमारे पास नहीं है, हमारे गुरु तो मनुष्य हैं, तो हमारे लिए कैसे होगा? No, Yamaraja is only representing anybody who knows as Nachiketa knew. Where Yamaraja was there, they are not saying. Anybody who had gone to Yamaraja will become. Have they said that? We have to analyze like that. Have they said that anybody who goes to Yamaraja will become Brahmavid? Never. The way he had known all the Adhyatma Tattva, if anybody else knows it in this manner, he will also become Brahmavid. Brahmaiva bhavati, he will become like. This Kathopanishad is regarded as one of the most important and in one of the primary Upanishads of all the 10 Upanishads also. In my case, I have been talking about it. I think I have spent maximum time on Kathopanishad speaking about it in different places. Mundakopanishad also I have spent, but I think Kathopanishad, I started with Kathopanishad. When I had my spinal surgery, I was not able to do anything. There was a collar which is called Philadelphia collar, so the whole neck was immobilized. I could walk on the road in front of the ashram. So that was the time Ma suggested that why don't you take a class. It was in 2002. So I think that is the first time I started taking class in the ashram. The ashram was the old ashram with the small cottage with the small dining room. There was no place to take class like the Vijnana Bhavan now. So in the dining room, when there is no food session going on, we used to bring some chairs, and because we did not have any table and chair also, we used to sit there and we started with the Kathopanishad class. So going back to those days, I think it has given me a lot of joy of studying the Shastras myself to teach in a way. Because unless we teach, we don't go into the details so much. As far as my sadhana is concerned, it was not really through this analysis so much and that. Because Upanishads, I always found that it is as if it is coming down from the Brahmic truth directly with its own tune and own rhythm. So, really, if you understand that bhava, even if you don't understand the shlokas in detail, it hardly matters. If you chant it properly in that tune and rhythm and all, you get the vibration, and that completely makes us universal or vast. Our inner being will become vast just by the sound of it. Sound means bhava has to be there, of course, with it. But detailed meaning may not be necessary there. Detailed meanings are necessary to engage our intelligence and mind, that it should not go here and there. Normally, my mind will not run here and there so much. So, even in height of activity as we had in the ashram, whenever we chant the Upanishads or read the Upanishads, I used to get a lot of vastness. So, this Kathopanishad particularly, and other Shvetashvatara and other Upanishads, those where the rhythm is there, that sound effect also is there, that has helped me in my sadhana. Not this kind of analysis. All this analysis and all I started in 2002 in a deeper manner to teach that how to make it applicable, how can it be easier for people to grasp, because as such they are very abstract. You cannot, even the interpretations and all, those who are completely immersed in it, through that their mind and intelligence should get purified. That is one thing. But we talk to people who are not devoting that kind of time in that. I have to make it something which will be applicable to them in all their activities. So that thought make me think and try to interpret the verses in a manner so that, and think about experientially also, that how will it help. Some 2-3 verses we read, how it will help in my practice, how it will help to expand our mind, to make our mind pure. So those things took me to the deeper level of reading the Shastras. Otherwise, I found that if we simply attune ourselves to this Upanishadic tune, it is enough to purify us. We don't need so much of effortfulness. It will simply, the shlokas, the idea, then the sound, it will purify us. It will take us to this vast identity. So I really love to teach Upanishads, but that is my part. Finally, what will come out of my mind, of my mouth, I have also no control. Whatever is there, something will come out of it. It depends on the people who are present there. That is why I say that I get very much disturbed when people move or some people enter, some movement is there. Then the focus gets away. Then whatever was coming out, these are all very deep and it needs lot of one-pointed focus. If that focus goes, that things will not come out. And I don't feel comfortable with that. So when the things are coming out, it depends on the listeners, how well they are receiving. If I see the faces, they are sleeping, they are yawning, or they are falling off in sleep, that hinders the delivery. So if the delivery comes out well, for that the listeners are responsible. I am not so much responsible. If it doesn't come out also, the listeners are to be blamed. I am not to be blamed. This has been my astra throughout, that I always put the ball in the listener's court. That whatever is there in me, it is there in me. I have nothing to do about it. Whatever comes out, it depends on the listener's receptivity and their silence and their attentiveness. So with this, we tried to complete. No, I generally don't like to discuss much of theoretical things. Because theoretically there are so many models. They are not same also. Mano, buddhi, ahankara, chittadi, all those things, they are there, but there are different way of expressing also. See, they are all same. It is all the functions of consciousness. Mind, intelligence, ego. So, chitta. Chit means the consciousness. This we should know. The essential part here is chit is the consciousness, means undifferentiated, the ultimate, the Atma. Chit means the Atma. Chit means the Brahman. Chit means the consciousness. Consciousness, the universal consciousness. When in that chit some wave is there, some vritti, in the Sanskrit we use the word vritti, some wave, some concept, some idea, some thought, whatever comes, then we call it chitta. We call it mind also. Mind is only formed of the thoughts. So that way chitta and mind also in a way same. But there the mind will include the intelligence also, because intelligence also are thoughts in the chit. So chitta includes actually mind and buddhi both in a way. When we differentiate mind and buddhi, we differentiate between the two kinds of thought. That one is, mind is called sankalpa vikalpatmakaha manaha. Mind goes on thinking that this happened, that happened, I will do this, I will not do this, etc. Sankalpa and vikalpa. Sankalpa means I will do that, vikalpa means not I will not do that, or I did this, I did not do this, like that. That is, there is no analysis part. It is simply that most of us are always, the thoughts are coming like that. There is no analysis. It's from memory, certain things are coming, imagination of the future. These are all part of mind, we say, when we distinguish between the two. Whereas nishchayatmika buddhi, that is buddhi, the role of buddhi is to take resolve. That is, analyze that this, that, and then this is the truth, or this I will do, or this I will not do. That resolution part is the role of the buddhi. Actually, they are the same. They are all thoughts. The two kinds of thoughts we differentiate. One is without any analysis and another is with analysis. That is called buddhi. But truly speaking, the buddhi, there are so many words used. Buddhi, when we go down to it, actually by this analysis, is it only we are making resolution? But there is something called understanding. When we understand, suppose that I am, is it done by buddhi? We don't analyze to know that I am. I know that I am. Or that I have a mind. I know that I have a mind. And yesterday I said that even when I am knowing, analyzing, the knowledge may not dawn. The knowledge may dawn just after when I get up from the sleep. That is when there is no effortful buddhi. So there is something called, when normal buddhi, nishchayatmika buddhi is the effortful buddhi. But true buddhi or prajna or pratibodha or bodha, these are used, all these are terms used when it is meaning the understanding. That is where the understanding is taking place in our personality. And there, that is why we say buddhi guha, that is there itself the reflection of consciousness is there. In that, the foundation of the buddhi. That is called chidabhasaha. Chidabhasaha. There is no akara there, chidabhasaha. In Hindi we say chidabhas. That is chit abhasaha. That means it is like the chit, but it is not the chit. Just like the reflection of the sun in the water. It is a reflection after all. So the sun's rays are reflected and coming out. The consciousness is working from there, but it is not the original. We will think that the rays are coming from the wave or a mirror. The same sun's rays are reflected by the mirror. And with that we can see, we can know. But we will think that the rays are coming from the mirror. That is the trouble with our identity. We think that we are small, that consciousness is small. So that is called the chidabhasaha. That is chit abhasa, it is like the chit. So mano, buddhi, ahankara, chittadinaham, all these things are done. This is the way should be understood. And these are all definitions of the different activities of the consciousness, various appearances of the consciousness. So sometimes by saying mind we may include buddhi, sometimes we may exclude buddhi. When we are referring to buddhi separately, we are excluding buddhi. Sometimes saying chitta, we are only meaning mind. Sometimes saying chitta, we mean mind and buddhi, both. But chitta, from the word origin, it means when there is a vritti in the chit. And chitta vritti is also same. When we are referring to that vritti, we call it chitta vritti. Purushaha, you will get a better understanding from the Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter. See, there also it has a speciality, it has used 3 Purushaha, that is Kshara, Akshara and Purushottama. Dvabhimau Purushau loke Ksharascha Akshara evacha Ksharas sarva bhutani Kutastho Akshara uchyate. 15th chapter, have you forgotten? Are you not chanting during the food? Dvabimau, dvau imau, dvabimau, dvau imau purushau loke. Two are the Purushas known in this world. Ksharaha cha akshara eva cha. One is Kshara Purusha, one is Akshara Purusha. Ksharaha sarvani bhutani. That is, Kshara means whatever is changeful. That means the consciousness has become the world, the Prakriti. So the Prakriti is always changeful. That is the Kshara Purusha. We can call it Prakriti, we can call it Kshara Purusha also. Kutastho Akshara Uchyate. When it is unchanging Purusha, consciousness, we call it Kutastha Akshara. We call it Akshara Purusha. Now actually this Bhagavad Gita's Akshara Purusha is nothing different from the Maya we say. Or in Kathopanishad the Avyakta we say. It is the same thing. Because Akshara is Avyakta. It is unmanifest Purusha. Unmanifest Prakriti. Avyakta, Vyakta means manifest. Avyakta means unmanifest. So whenever there it is unmanifest, we call it Maya, we call it Avyakta Prakriti, we call it Avyakta. All these terms are used for the same thing. Don't get confused by all that. Now he says that Uttamaha Purushus, what is that? Purushastu anya paramatmeti udahritaha yo lokatrayamavishya vivartavya ishvara yasmat ksharamati-toham aksharaadapi chottamaha atosmi loke vedeja pratitah purushottama. In the Vedas, in the world, I am called the Purushottama. Why? Because ksharamati-toham, I am not limited by the changeful Purushaha. Aksharaadapi chottama, I am even transcending the Akshara. Because Kshara and Akshara, the two are duality. One is manifest, unmanifest. Duality is still there. I am transcending both. From that non-dual Purusha, manifest Purusha, unmanifest Purusha, or Prakriti and Maya, that unmanifest Prakriti, all these are coming. So therefore, I am called the Purushottama. So actually, in 15th chapter, Purusha is defined in terms of three. In many cases, this Kshara Purusha, another thing we must know to understand these concepts. Purusha basically means consciousness. Whenever that consciousness, that unlimited, unfragmented consciousness, it is identifying with a limited expression. Then also we call it Purusha, but associated with the Prakriti. That means this Purusha, when it is identifying with the body, then it becomes the Jiva we say. It is expressing through a body, we call it Jiva. It is identifying, we call it Abhimana. In Sanskrit we call it Abhimana. Whenever the Purusha does Abhimana in anything, it gets associated with that. So the Purusha, when it gets associated with the Prakriti, with the nature, everything, then we call it Brahma. He becomes an identifiable personality. Brahma is one who has created. So he is associated with the creation. So when the creation is there, then you associate the consciousness in that Purusha, it becomes Brahma. When the consciousness is taken away from there, we call it Prakriti. So actually Prakriti does not exist without Purusha. And Purusha remains unmanifest without Prakriti. This is the crux of our Vedanta or any spirituality. Purusha Prakriti we depict also in Ardhanarishwara and all. That is Purusha and Prakriti together we know. Suppose there is only Purusha, it will not be known at all because there is nothing to express it. And if it is Prakriti, then there is no revealer there. Prakriti also cannot be there. So the existence of the Prakriti depends on Purusha, and Purusha does not get manifest without the Prakriti. So two together, all the jugglery of the world is taking place when both are together, Purusha and Prakriti. Creation takes place when Purusha and Prakriti are together. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karapavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.